So today we are talking about the Gayatri mantra. Don't worry, I'm going to explain to you all about what it is, the meaning behind it, the benefits of the Gayatri mantra, and why it might be the master mantra. So just to explain to you, it's connected with last week's episode. So last week I was talking about the law of resonance, and I was explaining about how resonance works, and I touched on the humming effect, the book called The Humming Effect, and the power of humming. So what I noticed during the week after I was talking about that, I found myself singing and humming the Gayatri mantra. And I was thinking to myself, oh, I really should have mentioned that on last week's episode because it would have really helped. And anybody who was practicing the humming, it would really benefit them. And by the way, if you haven't watched last week's episode, it'll make a lot more sense if you go back and watch it now and come back here then afterwards, because it'll all click together. So I'll put a link below in the show notes. If you haven't watched it, go watch it now. Or if you haven't listened, go listen now and come back here. So the Gayatri mantra, I remember the first time I heard it, it was at the end of a yoga class. And this mantra was playing, and I remember thinking that it was a beautiful mantra, not knowing what it was. And I found each week I would go to the same class and the same teacher, and she would play the Gayatri mantra at the end of the class. And eventually I was like, I have to know the name of this. So at the end of the class, I went up and asked her, and she laughed because she said that everyone always asks her the same question, what's the name of the mantra? And she said it's the Gayatri mantra, and she explained a bit about it. And of course I went home and downloaded it straight away, and I have been using it ever since. But I laughed because the following week when I was at yoga, I finished and I was out the front putting my shoes on, and somebody else went up and she was like, what's that music that you're playing at the end? So I know you are going to love it just as much. And if you already know it, I'm going to share with you the version of it that I listen to. If you haven't listened to it yet, make sure to go and have a listen. So let me explain what this is. The Gayatri mantra is said to be one of the most powerful of all the Vedic mantras. So that's a pretty big statement, to be one of the most powerful of all of the Vedic mantras. So I was looking up a bit of information about it, and the Times of India says that Gayatri mantra was first recorded in the Rig Veda and was written in Sanskrit around 2,500 to 3,500 years back. The Gayatri mantra comprises 24 syllables organized inside a triplet of 8 syllables. Reciting the Gayatri mantra not only decontaminates the chanter, as in the person chanting, but also the listener as well. So you can use it yourself by chanting it, and you will get the benefits that it has to offer, which I'll explain now. Or you can simply listen to it and you will still get the benefits. I like to do both. I like to bring it into my body. Again, talking about the law of resonance, I like to resonate the sounds within me, and I like to chant it, sing it, hum it, and I'll explain about how to do that. But I also listen to it as well. But I find that when I started out, I was listening to it more because I was getting to know the sounds. And once I had learned the sounds and the words, then I started singing it myself. So I'll tell you exactly what to do to start learning it for yourself. But firstly, I want to go into the benefits. So there are so many benefits, and some sound a little bit ludicrous. And to be honest, I left off some of the more kind of wide sweeping benefits that I read about, because not that they aren't possible, but they're quite big statements. So I'll tell you the ones that I collected that I wanted to share with you. They're more tangible, if you will. So firstly, it calms the mind, and this is through a few different methods. It calms the mind by slowing the breathing, by focusing on the mantra, and by being single focused. So, and also the sounds are said to have their own special frequency that elicits this calmness within. Secondly, it improves focus. So obviously, when you're focusing on the mantra, you're training your mind to be focused on one specific thing. So it helps then in other activities to be focused. It clears anxiety and removes fear. The mantra protects from harm. It says that I read that it is means to become atoned from karma, so to wipe clear your karma, and it wards off all misery, brings enlightenment, and it slows down your breathing, which can help to regulate your heartbeat. So I just want to go back to where I was saying about the karma. So it is said that you should recite the mantra 3 times a day. And when you do that, you are wiping clear any karma that is accumulated for that day. So you're starting each day fresh when you recite it every day, 3 times a day. Now, when I say 3 times a day, I don't mean just reciting it once. I mean spending a period of time reciting it. And ideally, as with all mantras, it said that you should recite them 108 times. Now, actually, I must look up how long that takes in terms of minutes. I think it depends on the mantra, of course, and how many words are in it. But I think it's around 10 to 20 minutes, but don't quote me on that. But if you want to, you can get, the mala beads that you can wear around your neck that have 108 beads. I used them for a while, but I found that I wasn't getting as much enjoyment out of it when I had to count how many I was doing. So I prefer just to sing, hum it for as long as I feel I need to. And I go with my intuition and just use that as my guide. So when you are working with the mantra, I'll go through the words now in a minute. And what I'll do is I'll post the words in Sanskrit in the show notes so that you can actually see them for yourself and start learning the words. But I do recommend listening to it first and getting familiar with the words and the tune. So the words are Om Bor Bhuva Hasvaha, Tatsavitar Variniam, Bargo Divasya Dimai, Diyu Na Prachodraya. So I probably am not pronouncing it as perfectly as I could, but when you are chanting it, when you listen to it being chanted, you will get a feel for it. And I actually find it more difficult to say it than to chant it because I'm so used to chanting it with the tune or the mantra chant. So the translation in English is there's a couple of translations, so I'll share 2 with you that I feel are kind of resonate. So the first is, we meditate on the glory of the Creator who has created the universe, who is worthy of worship, who is the embodiment of knowledge and light, who is the remover of all sin and ignorance. And then the second translation, which is similar but slightly different, says, we meditate on the spiritual splendor of that supreme and divine reality, source of the physical, astral, and celestial spheres of existence. Allow that divine being supreme to illuminate our intellect so that we can realize the supreme truth. So basically what these are saying, and I'm not an expert on the translation of this, but I like to keep things really simple. So if you want to, you can go and look up the translations and go really deep into this. But I don't want to overload you, and I'm conscious that the benefits are through chanting the mantra. So you don't really have to know the exact meaning of it in order to receive the benefits. And I do it for enjoyment rather than knowing what each syllable of the mantra means, even though I've looked that up as well. But it's basically saying that we are meditating and celebrating the Creator, Source, One, all, the universe, and the Creator of all, of everything, of the universe, who is the source of all of the physical, so all the planes of being, astral, celestial spheres of existence. And we are saying that we allow that supreme being to illuminate our minds, so to bring enlightenment, which is one of the benefits, and to realize our supreme truth, or to remove the veils of fear and uncertainty and doubt from our consciousness. So when you're chanting it, if you want, you can focus on the meaning behind it, or you can just focus on the sounds, the words themselves. They're said to be these, the resonant, as I was talking about last week in the law of resonance, the resonance of the syllables hold within them this frequency, which is a really high frequency, which allows you to align with that when you chant it or when you listen to it. So the version that I like to listen to is a beautiful version of it. There's plenty out there. If you go to Google, to YouTube, you will find so many. But the version I like to listen to is Diva Primal and Mitten. I'll put a link in the show notes so that you can go and find that on YouTube. So Diva Primal. And it's a beautiful version, and it really resonates with me. Some of the other versions I don't resonate as much with, but that one I love. And that's the one that I first heard when I was in that yoga class. So if you are using the law of resonance, if you are using your voice, your singing voice, your humming to bring you into alignment, or to bring your frequency into alignment, then this is a beautiful way to do that. And I think you'll find, even if you have this on in the background as you are going about your day, you can have it on your earphones or whatever it is, you will really benefit from the energy of it. And you can go look up, if you want, the other benefits of it. It talks about wiping out all, what was it said, healing the body, wiping out all sin, and loads of things that you can look up. I stuck with some of the more the tangible benefits, if you will. So if you want, you can go and look up some of those others. I didn't put them in because I like to stick with more researched benefits, rather than just giving you everything that it's proposed to be. Okay, I'm rambling on, so I'm going to finish there, and I will see you next week. By the way, next week we are going to be talking about the Lionsgate portal, which is coming up very soon on the 8th of August. I can't wait to share this with you, this special Lionsgate portal, which is always a huge deal in the month of August. So I'll explain all about it next week. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will